Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the OS World Cup 2024. We are here with a morning match for all of our North American viewers and an afternoon match for all of our European viewers. We have a winner's bracket match for you all here. One of the most highly anticipated matches of the weekend, aside from, I think, Canada versus the United States, which will be taking place a little bit later on today. But this is the closest seeded matchup we have in the winner's bracket here. Russia versus Germany, 4th seed versus 5th seed, and two teams that have quite the history in this tournament. I will be one of your casters today, Chili or Pair, joined by none other than Miles on this fine morning.
Good morning, Chillier, and morning it is. I just rolled out of bed for this, but this is one that I think everyone circled on their schedule to be an absolute banger. The two European powerhouse teams, the Russian Federation versus Germany, Seed 4 versus Seed 5, and two teams that I think have a lot to fight for in this matchup. What do you think about it, Chillier?
Well, these teams are actually there's a lot of misconceptions, I think, behind, both of these teams. Both have a history in the OS World Cup, both of them longtime participants. There's certainly no shortage of clips and moments from both of these two teams, but they're quite similar in what they look for in terms of overall skill sets. Both very well-rounded teams, both have that roster depth, and both looking to make waves in this tournament. Russia looking to have their best performance ever in the OS World Cup is their goal this year. They have had the highest qualifying performance, I think, that they ever have this year, and they are looking to outplace their best placement ever in the OS World Cup, which is a top 6 performance. And if they place equivalent to their seed this year, they are poised to do that. Likewise with Germany here, they're looking to come back to greatness a little bit. They took a bit of a slip back. They had their lowest placement out of the past 5 years in 2023, and they are looking to bring themselves back up to potentially a top 3 placement, but there is some serious competition to do it this year.
And in this matchup, I think it's just really tough to call when you look at this map pool. Quarterfinals is a map pool that is balanced around being around 7.3 stars. And when comparing it to a lot of the other map pools where I think the poolers took our liberties in being a little bit more creative, this one goes back to some of the more traditional methods of slot pooling. And that's something that I think these two teams have quite an interesting comparison on, because you compare the stats for qualifiers, which is, I think, the easiest comparison of difficulty for this map pool. And these two teams are tied at the hip. I mean, seeding is what was created by the qualifiers pool, and these are teams seeded 4th and 5th. So, can't get any closer than that. And these two teams, I think you could kind of categorize it as Germany might want to pick some more of the hidden maps, some more of the gimmickier maps, some more of the nomad maps, while Russia probably going to want to stay in the DT pool and the Hard Rock pool for most of the match if you want to predict some pick strategies. But speaking of that, we have made it into the ban phase. Russia banning out the Awkward Aim Hidden 1 as their first ban, and Germany banning out the Fast Aimy Hard Rock 1 as their first ban.
Yeah, it's an interesting shift for a team like Germany, right? When they make it to these mid to later stages, they have traditionally been the type of team that picks into those mechanic slots, and like we kind of went over at the beginning, right? These two teams very opposed on the mechanical skill sets here. Russia is a team that is to be feared on the mechanic slots in all map pools thus far. They've had amazing performances every single weekend, brought about by their entire roster, not even by star performances, and that's really going to be the key difference in these winners bracket matches this weekend here compared to the lower brackets, is just the concentration of those FCs, the higher level scores in here, and I'm interested to see what both of these teams are able to do. But I mean, Miles, what are your thoughts on the second bans based on what we've seen from the first two here? Because Hidden Hard Rock, I mean, that's not two bans you see too often.
Yeah, and both being 1 slots, neither team wanting to really play any of those aim maps against each other. But yeah, Germany, second ban coming out on the Hidden 3, which is actually really surprising for me. I thought they might want to opt into that map, having a player like Okinamo on your team to join like Whitecat and Kriller. I feel like that mechanical tech could have been good for them, but they decide to ban it out anyway, and the Hidden pool is actually not going to be played in this matchup. Russia banning out Hidden 2. There is no Hidden in the map pool. If you want to play Hidden, you're going to have to take it on the free mod. and that's something you especially don't see too often.
I'm all for it. I'm all for dropping an entire mod pool off right off ban phase. That's so funny to me. And you're so right. You almost never see an entire mod pool banned out off of the ban phase. There's always one that gets left up just in case, right? And these two teams are so confident in their not wanting to play hidden that they said, nope, we don't even need to leave one up just for emergencies, right? Like, if everything else in this pool goes wrong for one of these two teams, there is no hidden pool to fall back on anymore. And Russia gonna go straight in for Flying Fafnir. Germany rather, going straight in for Flying Fafnir, the double time map to start them off here, with all 4 open between these two teams. That mechanics distinction really reigning supreme here.
And going for the DT4 first into Russia, that is such an interesting play, because Russia, we were just talking about them, very, very strong in the mechanics. That's something that they have been just picking this entire tournament. We expect them to pick this entire tournament, but Germany wants to fight them on it, and this DT4, I think, might be a pretty decent place to start. This one, a little bit more of the control-based DT, 215 BPM finger control map, custom by Chaoslitz. And if you've looked at any of Chaoslitz's DT maps in the past, you might know a little bit of what this is going to look like.
This map has been a popular one this weekend, I feel like. I've seen this in so many matches. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the matches that I've watched I've seen this weekend, but something to note as well, Miles, and it's a statistic that I saw yesterday, but with the triple hidden ban, unless I missed it on a later match yesterday, does that also mean that Hidden 1 remains as the only unpicked beat map this weekend thus far? Is that still the truth? Are we still on 0 Hidden 1 picks? I almost want to see.
I still haven't seen Hidden 1, and I'll be honest, this is my first time seeing this DT4 as well. But maybe I missed it in the match.
I've definitely seen this at least once this weekend. I don't know if it's been popular like I have so proudly exclaimed, but it's definitely been picked more than the Hidden 1, which is going to continue in the land of non-usage here. But I'm interested to see what happens on this opening pick, Miles. You know, we were talking before the match, and these are two of the more consistent teams in the OS World Cup. And by that, I mean that they have almost the same placement every year between these two teams, at least for the past couple of years. Since 2020, Germany has placed either 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, and Russia has either placed top 12 or top 6, and nowhere else for either of these two teams. So the consistency and placement for both sides here is unbelievable compared to some other teams that we see, you know, fluctuate in seeds massively, in placement in the bracket massively, and this is actually the longest, I believe, that Russia has maintained a winner's bracket slot for. If they do end up making it to next weekend in the winner's bracket, they will have their highest placement in the OS World Cup ever. If they do fall to the loser's bracket today, they will be right on par for one of their top finishes ever, and continuing the top 12 to top 6 train. There's always that joke we come up with every year, which is the Russia semifinals wall, and for their sake, they're looking to break that this year.
And break it against a Germany roster that broke their hearts last year. Russia in tiebreaker fell to them in that matchup in loser semis last year, so Russia playing with a chip on their shoulder now. They really want to win this matchup here against Germany in the winner's bracket. And we are starting here on Germany's first pick, the DT4. We've got Fle, Tim Kackner, Kriller, and Whitecat up against Welter, Scrabble, Ciccone, and Dessoup on this DT4.
Unbelievable roster combos, and Scrubble actually going to find the first major break. Another one there. Welter found one that was very early, but it's not going to be too bad for Russia. But that double break, however, 2 minutes and 32 seconds on this one, Miles. Not a whole lot of breathing room, and Ciccone going to find a break as well. The consistency for Russia not looking super strong on this opening Germany pick, as we see 2 players with above 99% hack on their side.
Yeah, and the 4-way is still holding on for Germany. Just a really good first pick for them so far. Nearing the halfway point. Still a chance for Russia. They have the couple big combos on Dessoup and Welter, but they really need to see a break from one of these German combos, because a 4-way is absolutely insane going into the halfway point.
poised to be one of the best team scores of the weekend on this map if Germany continue this train right now, and the consistency is just so strong. You know, I've said I've seen this map once this weekend, but it certainly wasn't a notable enough performance, and this is just going to clear every team thus far. We are in a quarter of the way left in the map, and Germany showing no signs of weakness here, let alone Russia being able to come back in as they drop both their FCs. Whitecat the only one to break on the switch, and that is just going to be all she wrote for Russia, I think.
And even with the Whitecap break, Germany still poised to get near a 4 million team score on this one, still holding on to 3 FCs. Never mind, Fleb broke, and I didn't see it. Yep.
I didn't either.
Evaded both of us. But regardless, doesn't change the outcome. Very Germany favored first pick here.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff, and the team captain for Germany this year coming out on top right now. Not quite going to hit the 99% accuracy. I was going to be significantly impressed with that 99.15 there, but damn, Kriller's going to come close to it right now. Tim Kackner not half bad right behind as well, 98.7% rounding up, and just barely letting that 4 million team score slip by from Germany there. And a singular S rank on the side of Russia, but man, look how close this would have been, Miles. S ranks all around on Germany, and the highest miscount on Russia, 2 from Welter, who actually had the best score on their entire team with that reverse choke there. So this could have gone a very different way in a separate playthrough, and that's the sort of thing we're looking for from both of these teams on the 4th, 5th seed match.
Yeah, I mean, just tells a story. These teams are tied at the hip, and although it was Germany's first pick, and they look so consistent on it, Russia just one step behind on that. But Russia gonna stay in the DT pool, picking that DT3 first. This one more of a speed map, 273 BPM. Still AR 10.3, as is Flying Fafnir, but this one a much different look.
So, unfortunately, Germany will not be taking the highest team score on the DT4 for the weekend. They were unable to surpass the team score from South Korea, who put up over 4.1 million team score on that map. So, understandably, the #1 seed of the tournament being amazing at their skill sets, but still not a far shot off, especially for being a 5th seed from the #1 team in the tournament. That is quite the start if you are Germany here. And Russia looking to make waves as well. Like you said, more speed focused, more stamina focused on Readiness as well. Really cutting out the majority of the aim on this pick right here, which did seem to be Russia's downfall on that last map, was some of those aim patterns.
And this one much more suited to the speed players on Russia. Although that DT4, much more of a control map. This one much more of a speed map. Plays into some of their players' strengths a lot more, especially looking at Ciccone, that player in the bottom left. Arguably one of the best speed players in the lobby for this matchup. Gonna want to see him start to get his groove on some of the speedier picks in this pool, because as we mentioned, no speed maps were banned out in this ban phase. We have every single DT, the no mod 2 stamina pick, the free mod 2 speed pick. So definitely going to be the most impactful skill set in this matchup.
It was going to be an interesting strategy here for Russia. I wonder how much they're going to pick around attempting to take Kriller out of the match today, because that is what a Renidus pick looks like to me. This looks like Russia's first opportunity to use their picking strategy to not only pick into their strengths as a team, but also to take one of the better players out for Germany here. You know, Kriller generally presents themselves as a significantly more dangerous opponent than their teammates, who are all extremely talented and are going to give Russia a run for their money on here. But I think he's been the #1 performer for Germany every single weekend thus far. And that does make a difference on your overall roster here. But it's Russia to try and take their first pick here on Renidus, and we are looking for Okinamo, Yari, Zeitfrost, and Fled to go up against one of the scariest Russian stamina rosters I have ever seen.
And it also takes Whitecat out of the lobby for Germany, so you have that two-headed monster of carries out of the lobby for Germany. But still, they're very strong speed roster in here. We get into Renidus, no one finding any early breaks, as you'd expect for two very confident speed teams. But the Russian accuracy just looking a little bit better out of the beginning. First 300 combo, still 3 accuracies over 99 on the side of Russia. Only Scroll below 99, but he's going to find a break on that little single tap section, and that's going to throw the lead right back to Germany. in the first quarter of this map here.
I was about to say before that break that I was really not expecting too many misses from players on this map. I thought the accuracy would make more of a difference, but Skrull just struggling on this at the early onset here. Having zero trouble with the bursts, might I add. Like, absolutely unwavering on the stamina aspect, but I guess that's kind of the stereotype, right? Fast speed player breaks on the aim section of the speed stamina map here, and now we come into the longer stamina section where it really is going to start to show who's confident on this. And it looks like everyone is, maybe Russia, just a little bit stronger on their trio right now, and that could mean a dangerous position for Germany down the line if they find a break on one or two of these players. That triple 98 versus a three-way high 99.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 7 FCs going into the final third of the map here, Chillier. Any break can throw it right back, and Yari's gonna find a break on the alt pattern.
I knew someone would break there.
Oh my
I knew
god.
it.
That is such a tragic place to find a break. Now Russia poised to come back in the lead on their pick, but they need to hold on to their combos. Everybody getting through that kick slider square. Into the Ki section we go. Russia's gonna slowly take this one back, but another break could throw it right back in the way of Germany. Everyone on Russia needs to hold with everything they have.
I think that might be enough. It's going to go back. Skrull has such a huge supporting combo after finding those early misses. Absolutely no issues, and there it goes. 10k, 20k. Ice Shark finds a break. That might have just given it away to Germany. The accuracy is going to be so close into the ending. Russia might have just thrown it away. It's going to be an act battle to the finish, and I think Germany has it.
Yeah, Germany right at the end. If the map ended right there on that act drop, it would have maybe gone back to Russia. But nonetheless, Skrull finding the break at the end, and Germany is going to take an early break point by the thinnest of margins, 25,000 points to take a break point on Russia's first pick.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. The one break from Yari and the early misses from Skrull, it was so even. Ciccone, Ice Shark, and Welter, they all looked so confident the entire map. I mean, Ciccone, 2 100s FC, perfect combo. One of the sickest plays we have seen on this weekend, and it was just barely not enough. That miss at the end from the Ice Shark was just enough of a score drop to put them below flat with the 97% AC FC.
That is such a sad break point to take if you're Russia. Losing that early speed map to Germany. Now Germany up a break point. And they're able to pick now with their second pick. And you know that they're going to try to pick another map for that Kriller White Cat duo.
Do after that. Like, this is, I mean, I can't imagine Germany was expecting to win Russia's first pick here, but that is a serious morale boost for them to start this match off, to win what I personally think is the most contested mod pool as a break point this early in the match. Speaks volumes for Germany's consistency today. I mean, Miles, that is a 4-way S rank on Flying Fafnir into a triple S rank on Renatus with a singular player finding a miss. The rest of them were full combos. I mean, that's just unbelievable. This is the winner's bracket difference here in Russia. Not a far cry off as well. That is 2 4 million plus team scores on Renatus.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking for Russia now. They're playing behind with the breakpoint. And we are going to stay into the DT pool, Chillier. 3 DT picks in a row. After the hidden pool being entirely banned out, this is an interesting matchup in terms of pick ban. But yeah, Germany gonna go for that DT2. Not your typical DT2, wing my way. This is one that I think most people in chat are familiar with. It's been picked in almost every match so far, and it's come down to the wire as well in almost all of them. This one, a 4-minute alt map. Tons of flow aim, tons of difficult wiggle patterns as well in this one that we've seen a lot of people break on. But most importantly, one where Kriller and White Cat are coming back into the lobby for Germany.
This is that, like, flow aim, older style, like, finger control-y alt where a lot of these patterns are consecutive. You aim them like you're aiming streams, but you can't play them that way, and it has given a lot of teams trouble this weekend. But With these two, I'm not so sure we're going to see that same level of trouble. Now, something to note for this map for a team like Russia is that we haven't really seen Scrowl find that super confident play just yet for them. And this is the type of map that I would unironically say Scrowl might be the most confident player in the lobby besides Kriller on. This is just their skill set to a T, this flow aimy alt-style DT right here. And I'd be hard-pressed to not see Scrowl put up what is either an FC or a near FC on something like this.
But this type of map is so difficult to be consistent on every time. It's so long, so straining, so much uptime on this one. It feels like it's so easy to miss on just about any pattern on this map. Because it stays difficult the whole way through. You have to be really confident in your flow aim to be able to hit all the patterns in this one every time. And here we go. We've got Welter, Scrubble, Ciccone, and Gamer for the side of Russia, fighting up against Fle, Whitecat, Kriller, and Tim Kackner on Germany for their second pick. Wing my way.
This is Russia's first opportunity to get that breakpoint back. Even in a best of 11 miles, I really think teams only have 2 opportunities to really get a breakpoint back and make effective use of it, right? Because after that point, it's a little bit too late in the match. So Germany looking for that consolidation, and Russia looking to take it back as we see 3 really early breaks from Fle, Kriller, and Ciccone.
But this map is really long. Those early breaks aren't going to matter too much. I think breaks will really start to matter as we get into the first chorus section of this map, which does come up just in a few seconds. But here's the first wiggle pattern. It's going to catch out Scroll. But it's still a lead for Russia. Still 3 big combos to a couple reestablished ones from Germany. Fle and Welter going to drop at the start of the chorus. So it's still going to be all right for Russia.
This low accuracy for Germany on their full combos right now, but Welter to drop the combo. And it is still a combo game regardless of where the AC is going to sit. It does help a little bit, and you can see why Russia still has that score lead on their side because of that difference here. I mean, we've got some seriously low performances in that department from Germany right now.
Here we go into that big flow pattern. Gonna catch out Fle and Tim Kackner, so it's just Kriller and Whitecat holding on to the big combos now for Germany. Russia in a really good position now on this DT2. Big combos on all 4 members, but especially Gamer and Ciccone. And that's going to be a combo lead into the bridge section for them to build up a lead that should go up to about 150k by the time we get to the next chorus section.
This is a dangerous spot for Germany right now on their pick. Gamer to find a break, though, on that remaining full combo, or at least, yes, that was the last full combo from Russia there, which leaves Whitecat uncontested. Can he do it once again? The heroics from that Whitecat-Kriller pair we've talked about in the past, and look at that double 1k combo. Oh, Whitecat finds the break, and now it's Russia once again.
Just Kriller joined by Tim Kackner for any combo on Germany. Meanwhile, Russia just feels like they have more combo distributed between their members. Ciccone, Welter, and Scroll gonna grow this lead, especially if they can hold through the rest of this chorus. They'll have a little bit of an easier section to continue to build their combos, so this pattern right here is gonna be very important, and it's only Fle to break on it. So Russia now poised to maybe take this breakpoint right back, barring any heroics at the end from Germany, or any sort of meltdown from Russia.
It would require that meltdown you speak of here, Miles. Scroll and Ciccone, the 2 players that we said to look out for on this map, pulling their weight, and with Kriller breaking the remaining combo on Germany, it doesn't matter what Russia does at this point. Ciccone going for style points, 98% accuracy. Welter with an unbelievable 1200 plus combo backing up into the final section of the map here. And I think that's it. I think that's the break point done and dusted. It's gone now already, Miles. We said 1 opportunity for Russia to take it back starting here, and they are going to take it immediately. And And that's this match back to even, potentially. If Russia's able to take their own pick following this one, that is going to be the 2-2. That's going to be the match we looked for between these two teams. And despite everyone else in the lobby struggling at the ending, everyone else breaking, it's Ciccone to stand alone on the top of Wing My Way. Hits the wiggle stream, and I think that's going to be it. The full combo from Ciccone.
Not a full combo, actually.
What?
I believe
No,
that's a reverse
you're
choke.
lying.
I think
You're
this
lying.
is a reverse choke,
Don't
Chillier.
lie to me.
Wait, let's see. Is this a full combo? Nope.
Oh,
Two
it's
missed
not.
at the
I've
start.
been scammed. I've been scammed.
Such a good score from Ciccone, though. Over 1 million on Wing My Way, and his team backing him up well on this. 748k from Welter, 658k from Scroll, and that is just a breakpoint that Russia absolutely needed to take. If Germany had won that point, the momentum would have been so strong going up 3-0 in the match, but Russia breakpointing right back, and we are all even once again as we go back to Russia's pick. And we're going to see if we get a potential DT pool sweep here.
DT1, please.
If they could pick the DT1, I don't think it's a bad pick for them.
I definitely would say Ignite would be a dangerous map to pick. I mean, both of these teams very clearly not looking to go for aim, and they are going to avoid it. They are going for It's Our Destiny, really making a switch up.
This is a really interesting pick to me because this feels like you're picking almost right into the wheelhouse of like Kriller and Whitecat. But I think like the other players on Germany, if you're accounting for them, this could be a really good pick for Russia as well. Very strong at the tech in the past, especially this kind of slider tech.
I mean, this is in my mind right now. This is Scrowl Kriller 1v1. Like, this is who puts up the higher AC FC on their top player, because I would put money that there will be an FC on both sides for this map. This map has been probably one of the favorites this weekend, actually. We've seen so many really good scores on this, and I'm actually exceptionally excited to see this for the other winners bracket this weekend as well, between Canada and the United States, because I think those two countries also have some ridiculously good tech players. And seeing good scores on this map is just so impressive with the sliders and everything that this map offers. It's going to be about the supporting scores right now, right? Those top FCs, you know they're going to be there. You know those players are going to show up for this sort of map. But it's about what the support can do. And thus far, we're pretty even in that regard, Miles. Germany has had some really good supporting scores on maps such as Flying Fafnir compared to Russia. And Renidus was dead even between the two teams, and Wing My Way was actually just the difference, at least a majority of the difference was on that top-level player, and then some of the remainder of the roster. So Russia may be just a bit of an upper hand in terms of support thus far, but that's not saying much given the fact that this is completely different from any other map we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, this map kind of sits in a unique spot in the pool. It is purely slider tech compared to every other tech map in the pool having some element of tapping, some element of flow aim. This one is, you could almost call it a bona fide aim map because of that. There's really not much tapping or flow control difficulty in this one at all. But this is going to bring out, in my opinion, maybe the hardest hitting Russian roster. Scroll, Welter, Ciccone, and Gamer for their hardest hitting players to go up against Tim Kackner, Whitecat, Yari, and Kriller. Hard hitting rosters from both of these teams here. It's going to be a absolute slugfest on this one. No mod 4.
This is a new one. This is that area we're looking for to switch things up. But there's been... Man, Russia has such a history of having really good tech players, like, in all rank ranges, too. So, this is, like, such an understandable pick. I know, like, in the past, we have generally picked Germany out as an exceptional team for this sort of thing. But Russia is kind of one of those few exceptions where it's like, they're the type of country that can pick this into Germany and absolutely nobody would question it. Low axe off the beginning, understandably. These, like, slow, low BPM sliders generally tend to catch some players off on the 100s just because of score v2 and the leniency, but this is really not the section we're looking for to make a difference on this map. If this map comes down to an AC battle, I would have no words.
Yeah, certainly not. Like, I can see something like the DT3 or the DT4 coming down to maybe an ACK battle, but like, this is a little bit too difficult for that, in my opinion. Yeah, as we get on into the breach, Gamer gonna find the early drop, and that's the lowest ACK for Russia as well. But White Cat is gonna match that break. So a couple of slider breaks out of the start, but still a Germany lead based on the accuracy. Gonna see who finds the second breaks for either of these teams. It's gonna be Gamer once again for Russia, but still 3 FCs against 3. But Tim Kackner to go down as well for Germany, but it's traded by Ciccone. That's 2 breaks still here traded.
Filter. Oh my gosh, and I was gonna say, you know, Gamer finding the second break wasn't too bad, and wait, White Cat was Bancho too. It's 3 FCs for Germany right now. That is the latest Bancho, and it's gone again. Okay, well, I'm just gonna... Okay. Okay, well, Ciccone finds a break, and Scrabble does as well, so wait a second. We need to revisit these combos right now. It's...
Welter Bancho.
Thriller and Welter on the FCs, and Tim Kackner and Gamer to match each other's combos. We are dead even on these scores right now, Miles. There is no lead for either team to speak of right now. Maybe a little bit in favor of... No, it's not in favor of either team, actually, because there's lower support on Ciccone and Scrawl than there is on White Cat and Yari. This is unbelievably close, and we're in the last third of the map already. I mean, this is going to come down to whether or not Kriller or Welter breaks first, if anything.
That or the supporting scores. The time is quickly running out for Russia. They need to see a break from Germany, and they need to hold on to their combos for everything they've got. The 92% on Gamer isn't doing them any favors. That's White Cat to go down, but Ciccone gonna match it. So going into the ending, 130k lead for Germany. Everything staying at status quo. Good for them to perhaps take another breakpoint here into the last 1/8 of the map. Germany needs to break for Russia right now.
The 125,000 score, there's certainly enough left to have something happen here, but it would need to be almost right now. Welter holding right alongside Kriller. There's no breathing room. Tim Kackner, Yari, and Gamer and Scrowell on the supporting scores right now. It's going to come down into the last seconds here. One break could still shift it, but I think the note density is gone now. The damage has been done. And Kriller and Welter with an exceptional one-on-one FC battle there at the ending. Kriller having the upper hand on the ACK. That's another map, Miles, with 3 S ranks and 1 A rank. That's 2 out of 4.
That's just insane. I mean, I guess it makes sense because, you know, slider aim map, but it doesn't make it any less insane.
Such good teams. 4th, 5th seed matchup. I mean, we kind of expected a performance like this, right? These are 2 of the best teams in the tournament, regardless of their seeds not being in the top 3. This is just crazy. And look at that, though. Look at these scores on both sides. I mean, the lowest on either side is 415k on Ciccone, and White Cat was only 1k ahead of that. I mean, that was basically one-on-one matchups on every slot.
I mean, it's interesting when that kind of happens. You have the player equivalents on both teams. Makes watching maps like that really interesting, but now Germany taking the break point right back. And that is really bad for Russia now, going into another German pick. So, Big Black? No. No show Sakuretsu girl.
The other three.
Yeah, the other 3. I think you mistyped, Kriller. I think you meant to type F instead of N there.
F, M, you know, it's understandable.
I mean, this map, pretty cool as well. Very much an aim control alt map. Trying to kind of stay in that same realm after winning that Nomad 4 pretty comfortably.
I want to see Ahofen for this map. I really do. I want to, like, the new player for Germany had a ridiculous performance in Kanyo Cup a couple of months ago, and moving up onto the OWC stage for what I consider their skill set would be super cool to see right now. But given the fact that we have Okinamo, Tim Kackner, and White Cat in right now, and I would personally put Kriller in that 4th slot in this scenario, I don't know if we're going to get a chance to see that, unfortunately, unless we see another roster switch.
And we're going to see a new face for the first time for Russia in this match. Handsome Me coming in on their side. And yeah, it should definitely be Kriller in that 4th spot for Germany, but Zyfrost actually going to come in.
Ooh, are we gonna see? This is the roster for Germany. Good luck, have fun. So no Ahop and no Kriller on a Nomad 3 alt map. Wow.
Oh, wait. Here it comes.
Oh,
yep.
there's this.
I was
okay.
about to say,
I was like,
that would
really?
be absolutely crazy. Like, you bring out maybe one of the best aim control players in the game for a map like this. That would have been absolutely insane to me. But nonetheless, Kriller, Okinamo, Whitecat, Zeitfrost for Germany's third pick here, up against Scroll, Handsome Me, Gamer, and Chicone for Russia. Still, I think, starting to get towards that do or die position for Russia. They might need to take another breakpoint here very soon.
Handsome Me, I'm looking for a good performance from them this time around here. Handsome Me is probably one of the best players from Russia overall this year in terms of tournament wins. I think they have put up 3 separate Russian regional tournament wins in this year alone, which is an unbelievable level of consistency for a region that is quite active and has a large player base. So that speaks volumes to their confidence in tournaments, and I am very excited to see how they fare on a pretty difficult Nomad 3 here. We've got one break on either side with Gamer and Okinamo to trade, but Zeitfrost found an early miss.
Yeah, quite difficult. Nomad 3 might be an understatement, Chillier. I believe this is one of the hardest maps in the pool coming out of playtesting. Just about everyone struggling on it. But we do still see some FCs in the lobby. Scroll, Handsome Me, and Chicone still doing well. But there goes, wait a minute, that's a 3-way break for Russia. Scroll, Handsome Me, and Gamer all going down. It was looking really good for them going into that chorus, but now Kriller and Whitecat, that two-headed beast for Germany, still holding on to those 2 FCs out of the first Ki, and they're going to steal that lead right back from Russia, now relying only on Chicone's full combo going into the middle section of the map.
And Chicone is being matched right now with an uncontested support from Germany, and all players on both sides hit that spaced out of that pattern. And here we go, the second half of the map. There is that flow aim section in this map, that breakdown section that has claimed quite a few players. Coming up here, it claims Zeitfrost and Gamer, and that's a traded break. That works in favor of Germany as long as that break isn't from one of those top 2 combos, and Kriller and Whitecat and Chicone are the 3 to look out for right now. Against this? What do you do against this right now?
There's nothing you can do. I mean, when you're staring down the barrel of a Kriller Whitecat double FC on a map like this, you just have to pray. But right now, those prayers would not be delivered. Gamer finding the break. Kriller does go down. That's one of the 2 drops that you need, but Chicone is going to trade it out. And the aim control pattern going down. And that should seal the point for Germany. Gonna go up 4-1 on the alt map. Scroll goes down as well. And this map is so hard. Whitecat does find the drop, but it's gonna be a job well done for Germany. 250k of score lead over the course of the map to go up 4-1 now.
The ending of this map claiming so many lives. This is an unbelievable last couple seconds in here. And look at the accuracy on Kriller to finish that map out. Finds 100 on the last node of the map, but the only 99% act to speak of, a singular miss. Okinamo not missing once on that map. That is an S rank from Okinamo. What?
That is something. And I feel like this is kind of an awkward map to get an S rank on, because so much of the difficulty is coming from like those aim control long alt chains that like, oh my god, and Russia's gonna go into Hard Rock 3 after that map.
Vision. I like it.
This is an awkward pick after that though, because this is also, when you boil it down, an aim control alt map.
I mean, Russia... I mean, it looks like they're just taking the fight to Germany right now at this point, right? Like, they are bringing it to their skill sets and just saying, yeah, let's duke it out on maps that we know that you're good at, and let's try and take that back. And it's a valid strategy, honestly. If you're really trying to, like, break that armor from Germany here and try and find that way in, you know, this is the way to do it, but we're gonna going to try and see if it works out for Russia in this sort of scenario here. They are still down quite a bit at this stage in the match. This is a rough spot to be in. It's certainly not the end of the world. If they take their own pick here, and they get only one breakpoint back, that's all that they need outside of their own maps. This match does look like it's getting out of hand, but it really isn't. It's 1 point.
Yeah, it's one breakpoint, but if you're Russia and you lose this one, then you're down 2 breakpoints, and you're staring down the barrel of a 5 German match point, where you're going to have to win 5 maps in a row, one of those being the tiebreaker in order to win the match. So this is really must-win territory for Russia right now. And going into a skill set that you just lost by a pretty decent amount feels a little bit sketchy. But nonetheless, they felt confident enough to pick it. Ciccone, Scroll, Welter, and Deske to try to keep their hopes alive to go up against Whitecat, Ahoff, Kriller, and Yari on the side of Germany.
Ahoff is in the appearance. First time this match. We will be seeing them in for the precision skill set, another area that they were brought on the team because of their strength in, and they are going to be backed up by quite the roster here. Whitecat, Kriller, Yari, but likewise on Russia, Ciccone, Scrowl, Welter, and Dasuk. That is also one of the Hard Rock rosters of all time, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Welter, didn't he win that Hard Rock tournament you hosted this year, Chillier? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
No, Welter did. Welter won another tournament this year. Welter has been a ridiculous Hard Rock player for so many years, though, that like it is completely understandable to kind of pin them as one of those ridiculous top-level players for that sort of thing. He's going to show it off right now, but we'll see what happens. Welter was one of the best players in that tournament, made top 6. It's hard to beat Malashevsky on Hard Rock.
Yeah.
It's 2 breaks from Germany right now, though, and that's working pretty well in favor of Russia despite the singular trade.
This is good for Russia right now, as long as they can hold into this flowy section. Yari and Ahoff gonna find a couple more breaks, but Scroll, that's the second break for Russia. Now 2 FCs to 2, Whitecat and Kriller against Ciccone and Welter.
I'm gonna miss the 1-6.
Let's see. Hardest pattern on the map right here. Gonna catch out Whitecat and Welter, but it's also gonna catch out 2 more players on Germany, so it's only Kriller holding on to the FC. Deske and Scroll still holding on to some supporting combo with the Ciccone FC, and this is looking pretty good for Russia now. Last 8th of the map, 330k of lead, and it looks like my concern was unfounded because Russia is going insane on this map.
Yeah, this is it. The supporting scores from Russia were so high at the start that it put up enough of a score gap, and there is simply nothing Kriller can do. Ciccone matching up with higher accuracy. Both players doing very well to put up full combos on this. This ending is quite difficult to be able to hold the combo through that space part, and it is a 400,000 score victory for Russia, one of the largest we've seen from them in this match thus far, and they are holding on for 1 more point here. That is their own pick. They need the break point back now. That's step 1 of 2. They needed their own pick. Now they need the break point, and then they can bring things back to even there. They're going to hold Germany at this 4 points for as long as possible. And there it is. The final DT from Germany.
The final Infinity Stone has been stuck into the gauntlet. The full DT pool has been picked. Now Ignite DT1. That consistent kind of speedy aim map with a lot of bursts as well. We've seen a lot of players miss on some of the longer bursts in this map, although you are able to mash through those bursts if you want to, because this is base OD 7.5. But nonetheless, the speed is a very difficult aspect of this one, and it might even take a player like Whitecat out of the lobby, which right now he is not in.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. While we're in the midst of these 2 maps, I would like to officially announce from the B stream that China has defeated Norway 6-0 in the losers bracket to knock out the tournament. That is an upset in the losers bracket. 13th seed beating the 12th seed. So everyone, congratulations to China in the chat, but Germany still got work to do now against Russia. We also have another match that I believe is off stream for now. I don't know if they're going to end up just dragging it to the B stream, but Philippines-Ukraine is currently at 2 to 3 points, which means that that match is on track for being right around where this one is.
I just can't believe Norway got swept by China. That match was looking to be such a close one on paper. You know, 12 and 13 seed, that's as close as 4th and 5th seed. That's just a 1 seed difference between those teams, but Norway not able to get the work done in that matchup. Although Russia, this is exactly the type of pick that I think they want to be able to take a breakpoint on. They fancy themselves to be that speed mechanics team. They should be able to perhaps take a breakpoint on this, barring any absolute insane scores from Germany, which they definitely are capable of with this roster. Okinamo, Tim Kackner, Flet, and Yari in the lobby. That speed roster coming out for them to go up against Chaconi Welter, Deske, and Ice Shark for Russia. Let's see if they can take back that breakpoint that they lost.
This map has been one of the highest picked of the weekends thus far, and for good reason. It's a great OP. Everyone, what's your favorite SAO OP? Everyone, this is probably up there. I mean, this is one of the OGs here, and the map is quite a classic alongside it as well.
Yeah, I mean, Frostmourne, you can't get much more classic than that. This guy was one of the founders of comfortable aim DT maps, I will proudly say. Yeah, Ignite, such a classic song, such a classic map, and one that most of these players should have played in tournament before this. We are about to get into the first chorus section, no one getting claimed by that first burst. It's going to be a slight accuracy lead for Germany, still holding on to 1 double S, as Fled drops a couple hundreds, losing his double S, and that act drop from Yari going to throw the lead back over in favor of Russia. We're about to get into the first difficult aim section. See if anybody misses on these doubles here.
Here we go. None! Not one! A single act drop from Yari for overstreaming, by the way. Tapped too early on that burst, but I mean, Miles, this is probably the most consistent map we have in the entire pool, like, aside from Nomad 1. This is just as comfortable as you get. It's bursts, it's aim, it's 10.3, which is unbelievably reasonable for double-time players of this caliber, and the BPM is also still quite comfortable, even if you single-tap or full ult. I mean, this is just the pinnacle of comfortable mapping. Not comfortable enough for Chaconi, apparently.
That's such a tragic place to find a break right at the 2/3 mark. That's a score capping type of miss. And here we go into one of the hardest patterns of the map right here. Is everyone on Germany gonna hold? It's Fled to drop, it's Deske to trade it. So it's still an advantage for Germany. 2 FCs to 3 in their favor. It's not out of the woods just yet on DT. A 100k lead can shrink instantly, but this is gonna be pretty good for them. They need to continue to hold on to that FC lead.
Going to be a close one here. It's still a singular break of difference. It's only 180,000 in favor of Germany. It's going to go up pretty quickly, though. That second half score gain, and Tim Kackner finds a break on that combo. It's Yari versus Okinamo, or Yari and Okinamo versus Welter and Ice Shark. As we come into the ending here, and the AC is higher on Ice Shark than it is on Yari. But I think that might be it, Miles. That might be the Germany point to bring them to match point, and that is one away from sending Russia packing to losers bracket.
That break from Chaconi was maybe the worst timing ever, right at the 2/3 marker. If he did not get his score cap there, it could have potentially been that Russian break point, but now they are facing down 4 straight match points for Germany. And they now need to win every remaining pick in the match, and they're gonna hedge it on the Hard Rock 2. Instant picks. These teams have been ready with their picks this match, picking instantly every single time. We've got Empyrean. Let me just say, if your match live is on the line and you're picking the CS8 map, that is just insane, because any nerves on this map are going to hurt you a lot.
This is back to the danger zone for Russia here, but again, we talked earlier about how confident they looked on the Hard Rock as a team, and they're going to continue that train here on the Precision, I imagine. Almost CS 8 miles, CS 7.8, that's the smallest we've seen in this tournament thus far. I mean, do you think that has any bearing on some of those top-level players from either team here?
I think in single player it wouldn't, but you know, when you're up against match point and you decide to pick something like this is like nerves of steel moment. Like, you are picking CS 7.8 with your winner's bracket life on the line. Like, that is, oh my god. We've seen players break on just about every pattern of this map just because of how difficult 7.8 is just as a map stat. Like, those circles are so tiny, just any little misaim and you're gonna find the miss. So you have to be very confident in this to pick it. And you know, they have some very good precision players. Chaconi, one of the top mouse players in the game, and mouse does lend itself very well to precision, and Welter, a player we praise to be a very good Hard Rock player, should be pretty good for Russia here. But Germany, they are no slouches on this skill set either. Very good at the precision. So gonna have to see here for Russia.
Gonna be a close one. We saw on Mare Maris that Chaconi is going to be that player to look out for the full combo on Russia potentially here. But Welter, not too far behind, and Dasuk not too far behind that one as well. But we are getting a switch from Skrull to Ice Shark on the side of Russia from that previous Hard Rock. Still running with the majority of the same roster here on the side of Germany, but by majority I mean 50%, because Zeitfrost and Tim Kackner subbing in for the Precision. And honestly, Miles, there's something we've seen this weekend on this Precision map, and it's that the team that has more mouse players generally is favored on this.
True. The only mouse player I'm aware of in this lobby is Chaconi. So
yeah.
That's 1-0.
Well,
so that should fare well for Russia.
I mean, your FC from the previous map being the only mouse player on the map that has trended towards mouse players thus far. I'll take that. I'll take that any day.
Legit. Yeah, you can already see just how small the circles are. If you're a viewer, this is looking like Osu for ants right here, as we already see some breaks coming out from Ice Shark and Zeitfrost. The ice and the frost.
Oh, when he's the
but
first
Chaconi to go down as well, so that's an early lead for Germany. This map is shorter. You can't really afford to find those breaks. Deske and Tim Kackner to go down as well, and so does Welter. So there's no FCs left on the side of Russia already, and it's Kriller with the FC for Germany going into the halfway point of the map already.
The solo carry potential on this map is unbelievably real. This map doesn't really change too much until we get to the aim section at the ending. Zeitfrost does drop the support, but Kriller, as long as this combo maintains, it's a White Cat and Ice Shark trade, and these higher combos continue to get whittled down on either side. It's Tim Kackner to hold alongside Kriller, and to be honest, Kriller needs it right now. There is two big combos on Welter and Chaconi, despite the fact that Ice Shark is breaking. Kriller needs Tim Kackner to be holding right now, and that 99% accuracy is so helpful. You all wouldn't believe right now. That is going up against Chaconi and Welter, both high 99, and Dasuku's not far off as well. This FC is the only thing standing in between Germany and
Tim
losing
Kackner.
this point, and there goes Tim Kackner, and with that is going to go the point unless we see a triple break from Russia.
And
there
Kriller
goes.
goes! And that's going to be the point for Russia now. Chaconi and Welter, after those early breaks, clutching up when their team, when their country needed it the most. And Russia going to survive one more map. Chaconi and Welter, insanely high combos. This could be one of the highest scores on this map for the weekend, as Chaconi eclipses 850k, Welter dropping near the end, but 2.5 mil on this is no joke, as Russia survives one more map. But now is their true Herculean test. They need to take a break point off of Germany right now.
Big Black.
Big
Wait,
Black.
please tell
No
me
way,
that's actually
please.
the pick. Please tell me that's actually the one.
Don't joke about this one, Tim Kackner.
This is not a game. This is not a game.
It's not a game to us. We need to see the Big Black, and oh
Yes!
my god, they're doing it.
Yes!
Germany are doing it. They are going to try to strike Russia down with the Big Black. This is what the viewers want. This is what the viewers deserve.
Time and time again, we have seen this map. We have seen teams have highs and lows. We've seen teams fall on the Big Black this weekend, and we are looking for one more opportunity. Germany, 5 points. Russia with 3. And man, this would be a fitting way for either way to happen here. Germany to win the match on the Big Black, to send Russia down to the losers bracket and send themselves into the winners bracket semifinals, or Russia to take the break point back that they need to get that 4-5 scoreline, win their own pick, and force the tiebreaker. I'm here for either option.
Exactly. I mean, this map, it's one where the difficulty is kind of hard to actually pinpoint. Like, seen a lot of people really struggle on the bus slider section in the middle, but also the modded players especially have not had a great time on this. The only FC I remember seeing so far on this has been from Mastash with no mod on Team Poland. But otherwise, we're going to be seeing, I think, both teams bring out their hard-hitting rosters here. Germany, Okinama, Whitecat, Kriller, and Tim Kackner. Russia, Scroll, Gamer, Welter, and Desuk to try to keep their winners bracket hopes alive. But this is such a powerful roster from Germany on this map.
This is the gamble right here, right? This map, you know, Germany has 2 points of leeway right here, right? They have their own pick, and this is their opportunity right now, and they have Russia's afterwards, but this could change the course of the entire match depending on how this map goes right now. And to pick a map that has been as contested as the Big Black, as RNG, honestly, might be the word I would use for this sort of thing. I'm interested as to what happens here. Scrowl on the Hard Rock alongside Tim Kackner, Desuk, and Okinamo on the Hidden. And man, Okinamo is not the player I want to 1v1 on Hidden on the Big Black.
The Hard Rock players are going to go down first. Scroll and Tim Kackner to trade. Desuk to go down. Welter to go down as well. That's a Hidden and a Nomad down for Russia now. It's only Gamer left. 2 double S's on the side of Germany. Whitecat and Okinamo. It's only Gamer alive on the FC and going into one of the easier parts of the map. It's not a good spot to be in for Russia. Germany should be able to take about 150k of lead during this section. Tim Kackner and Welter to trade once again. Here's the Buzz Sliders.
That's 3 FCs on Germany right now. Kriller holding alongside on that Nomad right now. It's just Tim Kackner, and there goes Gamer, and Germany might be doing it right now. Whitecat, Okinamo, and Kriller. Miles, this is going to be the best team score of the weekend on the Big Black if everyone makes it through this section. There's a couple more Buzz Sliders, and that's it. Germany 3-way FC through the hardest part of the map.
And this might just be the death sentence for Russia right here. 3 FCs going into these kick slider jumps, repeated breaks on the side of Russia, and it looks like Germany are going to do it. The Big Black Gambit is going to work out. 3 FCs going into the ending, a 700k lead already.
We do not see a 3-mil team score on the Big Black, right? Like, this is not a thing. Oh, frames the stream! Oh my goodness, it's gonna be close still. It can happen. It's Whitecat and Kriller. Tim Kackner with supporting combo at the ending. Will we see it? Will we see the 3-mil team score? Kriller finds a break. It's all falling apart, Miles.
But at the end of the day, look at the guy in the top right, Whitecat, the former boogeyman for Germany. Boogeyman once again FCing the Big Black with 99.73%. That is an absolutely absurd score from Whitecat. The former rank 1 in the world doing it yet again.
6-3. Final score. Germany, the 5th seed in what is technically an upset, sending Russia down to the losers bracket. And now they will be faced with the opportunity, or rather the terrifying scenario of once again falling out of the tournament in either top 12 or top 6 should they not make it through the semifinals weekend. But with how strong Russia looked today, I'm more worried about those losers bracket teams than I am about Russia. They are strong and ready to fight for that position. Germany going to have one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult match of the tournament next weekend. The match that Hong Kong was faced with this weekend. It's South Korea versus Germany. The #1 seed versus the 5th seed on the upper bracket. And we've got a couple more matches for you all today, Miles. I think there's 3 left in total, and one of them will be here.
One of them will be here, and one of them will be in 1 minute.